we're going to call it.
Hello and welcome to the Confused Breakfast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid?
I do.
It's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your couch. But there was something truly special about heading to Blockbuster, picking a movie out by hand, heading home to watch it, but falling asleep halfway through and getting killed by a dream demon wearing a hooped sweater and a fedora.
Oh, no.
On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. My name is Mike Schulte. Joining me, as always, two dudes who think morality sucks. Sean Pryor and AJ Vance, how the heck are you?
Morality sucks.
I'll tell you what, that is maybe the worst. That's like the best worst or worst best description of just a hoop sweater. It's like he looks like one of the guys like Kennedy. Like assassinated Kennedy, but wearing a sweater in like fall season. That's what he is.
And a fedora.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
he's not working today.
No, he's off. He's off.
He just got back from a game of polo.
He's cozy. You know, he's got a TikTok where he just does his morning routine.
Yeah.
You know, he just has his like coffee and he's like he reads a book, an entire book, and then goes to work. Yeah, because that's real.
Yeah, because we all meditate.
Yeah,
and regularly for 45 minutes every morning.
Of course. Well, boys, on today's episode, we discuss the original film of a franchise consisting of 9 total films, a television series, novels, comic books, and various other media, the movie that saved New Line Cinema from bankruptcy and was the film debut of Johnny Depp. This movie used over 500 gallons of fake blood during filming, made us all afraid to fall asleep, inspired the movie Inception, and was based on a true story. We're, of course, talking about 1984's Nightmare on Elm Street.
There's a lot of things.
Damn dang it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another nostalgic journey to the past with the Confused Breakfast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy wherever you are in the world. Take it away, boys.
I tried to put a bunch of stuff in there so that we would not address it later, you know, like just to slip it in there. Like, it, of course it inspired Inception.
Yeah, 100%.
We're going to move on
Everyone
from there.
knows that.
Also, my friends, we asked one day for our amazing fans to send us in some prayer candles of their favorite actors, and they came rolling in. So we're slowly trying to light the cameras. And today, of course, we decided it's Johnny Depp candle time.
Candle.
Am I saying cameras?
You said camera.
Well, you know, I was looking at the camera when I was talking about it, and so we've lit the Johnny Depp candle, and it is time to experience
his first picture.
His
first episode with us.
Guess you could say this is the episode he dipped his wick on.
Oh, well, that's what you could say.
You could say something.
This is where
like
his flame to the world was ignited.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You are not funny enough to pay for a show.
Stick to what you know, losers. If you are new to the podcast, we're going to be reviewing Nightmare on Elm Street scene by scene with a modern eye. But in order to do that properly, we got to discuss it with pure nostalgia. Sean, first time you saw this movie, what your thoughts on it were, what your nostalgic rating was.
Oh, man, let me tell you, I'm Sean Pryor who likes scary movies.
He hated it the first time he saw it. I guarantee that is the trend for Sean. He hates them when he's young.
It was.
Hates them when they're young. I was getting into a bunch of horror movies at the time. 100 Scariest Movie Moments was on, and that was just kind of my like litmus test, my list pretty much of what I needed to check out, what I needed to be a horror fan. And this was around the time where a lot of the remakes were coming out as well. And so I wanted to get the originals in before I saw the remakes. And, one, I've never seen the remake of this. I hear it's garbage, but I got to this one late. I was not like really wanting to watch it. My friend Kyle and I wanted something real scary, so my mom was like, "Oh, you guys need to rent A Nightmare on Elm Street."
It was so scary.
It's one of the scariest movies ever. And we watched it and we're like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't a big fan of this movie back then. Didn't really I checked out all the sequels subsequently, but I don't know. I don't know what it was about this movie. I'm going to give this it was okay. 5.6.
A 5.6. AJ, have you ever seen this movie before?
Mike, let's go to you.
All right, well, That's what we figured. I also have actually never seen this one before.
Oh,
Whoa.
okay.
An interesting thing about this is I came around late to liking horror movies. You know, I never even gave them a shot. I remember seeing the cover, walking past this one in Blockbuster, and just be like, nope. Like, you remember, it's like I didn't like any scary movie covers. Didn't want to watch them.
Walking past this one and all the rest, and be like, which one's the first one?
Yeah.
They all look the same.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, well, don't care. I don't care what the first one is because I'm not going to watch any of them. I finally then, maybe like a decade to 15, 20 years ago, finally like started to watch these movies. Like, okay, fine. I'll watch Halloween. I'll watch Friday the 13th. For some reason, the Freddy Krueger thing, like it never appealed to me, never interested me. And I just said, nah, I'm just not going to watch that one. So I've actually never seen it.
Wow.
But we do have to go to executive producer Bud Larsen. He says, I remember watching this at a Halloween party in maybe 6th grade. We watched A Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween. Ooh. I remember being so fucking scared after watching these. The party was at a friend's house, which was on a cranberry marsh. After the movies, we would go outside and the littlest noise would scare the shit out of us. My friends and I would try to stay awake because Freddy messed us up. From that point forward, I've always loved this series. I own the entire DVD set of the original Nightmare on Elm Street. My nostalgic rating, 9.5.
Whoa.
So that's going to kind of take you right to the middle. That's going to be a 7.55 nostalgically, which, let's get the numbers on that. That's actually going to tie with Office Space at number 50. Of any way we felt about any movies nostalgically.
Perfect.
Okay.
But it's time to just pretend like we never had this conversation because now it's modern day from here on out. And that's why Sean is going to hook us up with all the important details of the movie. What do you got, bud?
Produced by Sarah Risher, John Burroughs, and Bob Shea. Music by Charles Bernstein. He did The Entity, Cujo, and a great little indie movie called Detention. Cinematography by Jacques Haitkin. He also did Nightmare 2, My Demon Lover, The Hidden, Shocker, and Wishmaster. And this movie was written and directed by Wes Craven. Cast: Heather Langenkamp, Johnny Depp, John Saxon, Ronnie Blakely, Amanda Weiss, Zhu Garcia, Joseph Whip, Lynn Shea, and Robert Englund. After a couple of horror classics like Last House on the Left and The Hills Have Eyes, Wes Craven had some major cred in Hollywood. He was able to turn down he wanted to do a low budget but modest success kind of movie. He wanted to get that in there. Following that, Craven made a few films that weren't as successful for him or the studios. So by 1984, the director was looking for an idea and a studio to produce that idea. Wes Craven read a story about a family that fled from Cambodia to avoid a genocide to California. The little boy of the family was experiencing horrible nightmares and refused to sleep. After a while, was having trouble getting his parents were having trouble getting the boy to go to sleep. They eventually did, and one night they heard the boy screaming bloody murder. They rushed upstairs to get to him, but once they arrived, the boy was stone dead. Craven thought to himself, my God.
It's
That's an
terrifying.
idea.
I can't believe when I read that.
I'm inspired.
When I read that, I was like, no.
Yeah, it's real.
Don't. Get out of here.
Freddy
Yeah.
Krueger came from a kid that would bully Craven when he was younger. The Fred came from that, and then Krueger was sounded German to Craven, so he's like, that's evil.
So he had a bully that his name was Fred?
Yeah.
So if you were making a horror movie and you had to name it after a bully, what would you name it from your childhood
Oh, I don't remember.
or just from whenever?
Oh, man.
I mean, mine. It's Travis.
Yeah.
Travis Krueger.
That's pretty good.
Travis
man.
Krueger.
Oh, you don't want him coming around.
It'd probably be Drew.
Oh, there
Drew.
you go.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Druger.
Druger. Yes.
Give us a name.
Oh, well, fine. You know what? Just Chris. I know a lot of great Chris's, but
Yeah,
unfortunately,
But the bad ones, man.
yeah, there's just some really bad ones.
That
out
bad
there.
ones give them a bad name.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm saying, man. So
Craven was also inspired by a story of his own being freaked out by a stranger when he was young. Craven heard rustling outside his window one night and looked out the window to see a shadowy man rummaging through garbage. Eventually, the man stopped and looked right up at Craven. Craven started to back away from his window to be out of sight, eventually creeping back to the window only to be face to face with the man with a large grin on his face. Like, there's interviews with Craven, and the way he tells it is just so fucking freaky because he's like, and then I got to the window and all I saw was face to face with this guy. He was just going like that.
Don't like that.
I'm like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Craven got freaked out and eventually heard the door to his family's apartment open. It was an apartment building, so he heard the building, like the front door of the building open, and footsteps coming up the stairs to his unit. He screamed until he woke his parents and can't remember what happened after that. Craven only recalls the man having a burnt-looking face and a Gators type hat.
He's got a gator.
A gator.
Yeah. No. He's driving
a fedora
gator.
type hat. After almost every studio passed on Craven's screenplay, the independent studio New Line Cinema, led by Bob Shea, finally came in and would fund the production. Kind of. Being on the brink of shutting down, New Line would need help financing its new acquisition, partnering with about 4 other indie studio houses to finance the film. David Warner was cast as the main villain of the film, and Freddy Krueger. The actor did screen tests and makeup tests and costume tests, but ultimately had to back out of the project. Kane Hodder, who had become famous for playing Jason Voorhees, would audition for the role, but Craven was convinced that the role was suited for a smaller actor. Robert Englund eventually auditioned, saying that this was the only project he could fit in his schedule while the show V was in between seasons. Englund was instructed to play the part rat-like during his audition. Englund also drew inspiration from Klaus Kinski. Spell check fucking me up today. Craven wanted relatively unknown actors to fill the roles of the teens. Heather Langenkamp was just getting back into acting after completing her studies at Stanford, having only done commercials here and there. Johnny Depp was just hanging out with Fred Jackie Earle Haley, who would go on to play Freddy in the remake, to an audition when he auditioned himself. Depp has Wes Craven's... Oh my God. Depp has Wes Craven's daughters to thank for him getting the role. However, because Craven showed them a stack of headshots and picked Depp above any others. Basically, he showed his daughter a picture of Johnny Depp, and they're like, he's fucking hot.
He's
Cast
hot.
him.
I'd go see the movie.
Principal photography began on June 11th, 1984, and lasted for 32 days, shooting in and around Los Angeles. The film was rife with special effects for the heavy dream sequences, proving the shoot to be difficult but well worth it. Over 500 gallons of fake blood was used in the production as a whole. A prominent use being the blood geyser for Glenn's death. However, red dye and water were used in that specific shot because the fake thicker blood didn't work too well. The rotating room used in the scene was also used for the scene where Tina is dragged up and down the room. The cinematography, Jesus Christ. Cinematographer and Craven were given special chairs, pretty much roller coaster seats, to strap them in the set so they could be on the set. A Nightmare on Elm Street was released on November 9th, 1984, and on a budget of $1.8 million, the film made $57.1 million at the box office and effectively saving New Line, dubbing it the house that Freddy built. Elm Street has gone on to garner a plethora of sequels and a remake, and has cemented itself as one of the best horror films of all time, and naming Freddy Krueger as one of the most iconic villains in cinematic history. Please, somebody else talk.
It's Sean's favorite holiday, and he's having the worst day.
You all right, brother?
Everything good, man?
I love you.
I love you too, man. All right, up next, we got to go to AJ. He does the research for us, the ratings and reviews from critics and fans alike. What do you got on this one, dude?
This is the Tomato Meter.
Gross.
There's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of red in here, guys. This is 93% certified fresh, according to Rotten Tomatoes.
93? I wrote down 95.
95 is what it says on, like, the movies.
Okay.
Like, when you look up for streaming.
Yeah, but then it's like, no.
Then you go to Rotten Tomatoes, and it says 93.
Well, listen, we're going to pretend it's 95, okay?
You can do whatever you want,
Because of all the movies we've already done, I've already wrote it down. Of all the movies we've already done, that is the same as Silence of the Lambs. It is better than Alien, Jurassic Park, Dazed and Confused, and Saving Private Ryan, per the critics that know everything and are never wrong about anything.
Yep.
Just want to throw that out there.
I would rather watch this than Saving Private Ryan.
Okay. What about Dazed and Confused? What about Alien? Remember how good Alien was? We did that like 4 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, it
was really good.
I remember that.
Guys, popcorn meter. Yeah, that one's really important. So that one is at 84%. And then if we go on back over to the big old IMDb, we've got it at 7.4.
Tied with Scream, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and The Evil Dead per the fans.
Hell yeah, perfect.
Great praise from a whole lot of folks in the critic land. This is Empire, gave it 100. And what makes Freddy truly terrifying and an inspired invention on Craven's part is that he exists not in the real world, but in the shadowy realms of dreams, terrifying his victims. I guess that's exactly correct. Yes, thanks, Empire. Paul Atanasio, Washington Post, gave it a 90. For such a low-budget movie, Nightmare on Elm Street is extraordinarily polished. The script is consistently witty. The camera work by cinematographer Jacques Heitken, crisp and expressive. There's the lowest thing that we could really find on here. Vincent Canby, New York Times, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Slant Magazine, Nick Shager. Nightmare's skill wasn't that it invented such associations, which had already been thoroughly mined by its 70s predecessors, but that it refined them in uniquely disturbing ways, drenching itself in an atmosphere of unreality positioned somewhere between waking and slumbering states. Let's move it along, guys. All right. This is a 10 out of 10. One of the best horror movies ever, said Little Monkey 37750. This was in May.
750. Okay.
Yep. Make sure you remember that. That's really important.
Oh, okay.
For like
37750.
I like to think that there's 370 or 37749 little monkeys ahead of that.
Ah, gotcha.
And then they had to do this. This
is a popular user.
Little monkey on IMDb. It's all taken.
It's their zip code.
Oh. Okay.
Say it one more time.
I don't know.
37750.
Let's see what that is. I mean, because this is very important stuff.
This is important.
That is not a zip code, bro.
See? Well, warning, spoilers.
In Dreamworld, it is.
Oh, man, this runs deep.
This is a deep one, man.
Dang, dude. All right, warning, spoilers. Little Monkey had this to say. I don't care if a lot of people say it is a slow movie. Nightmare on Elm Street is a classic movie that gets a lot of hate for being slow when it is not. It is a great horror slasher that doesn't have nudity every 5 seconds, and it is a great plot, a funny killer to keep coming back to, be in the next movie, a main character to keep coming back, and is entertaining. It is one of the best horror movies that I have ever watched, and definitely one of the best horror movies that Wes Craven has ever made. It is scary and yet still super funny. It is an amazing movie that usually is not even considered a classic 80s horror movie, period.
They write just as well as I write and read.
He is that reviewer is correct though. There is actually no nudity in this movie. Right? Is there? I didn't see any. Did we see any?
Maybe I tried real hard.
I did too, and I couldn't find any, man, which is very surprising. Usually they're like, "Ah, shit, we didn't put the tits in there.
Dang it,
we gotta get them in there.
We messed up."
You know, when you're watching a movie, or I guess like a 3D movie, when someone comes at you and you like kind of instinctually like move like this.
Yeah.
I was like trying to like.
Yeah. You're instinctually going for side.
Yeah.
Have you ever done something in your daily life, like let's just say you accidentally threw something in a trash can, but you didn't mean to throw it in a trash can, so in your brain you Control Z. Like I do that. I do that in my daily life. I'm like, no, wait, oh fuck, I can't do it. Shoot. Command Z, whatever.
Command Z. Well, yeah. You're an Apple guy. Got it. Yeah. Here's another 1 out of 10. Here's a 1 out of 10, guys. This is supposed to be a fright film. Supposed to be. This is April 2nd, 1999 by Helpless Dancer. I have been more frightened watching Saturday Night Live. There was nothing scary about it. It was too juvenile to be a fright movie. Teens might like it if they are very immature. Got it.
Got him.
I'm going to read you the beginning of this one. Besides Johnny Depp, and even he wasn't so great. with his lack of time. This was the horror movie. This was the worst horror movie imaginable. Freddy Krueger was a friggin' clown and a putz. Main character was the worst actress since the backup extra from my 7th grade school play.
Oh, Bert.
You remember it though.
Hope she reads this.
Yeah, it was memorable.
Made an
for
impression for you.
The whole movie was a joke, especially the visible mattress when Freddy fell over the stair rail. I mean, they didn't even try to hide it. I bring this one up, Mike. I'll skip ahead for you because he says, the only part of this movie I enjoyed was the bathtub scene. And that's only because I'm an 18-year-old kid without a girlfriend.
Hey, I'm just letting you know, dude. You can still have a girlfriend and still enjoy those scenes.
We couldn't tell based off of your IMDb review. Thanks for telling us.
Oh,
I know this will surprise you, but I'm only 18.
This may come as a shock to some. Yeah. Let's see. I got one more here for you guys, and then Mike, I'll have you help me out with the Discord.
I got none in there.
Oh, okay.
I got nothing in there. Did you see stuff in there?
Oh, maybe I read something different here.
I'll double check.
But 1 out of 10, guys. Big spoiler. Not epic. The big spoiler. Not epic. Very sad. Gonna go cry. Saddest movie. 1 out of 10. That was Katarn Skywalker, and that's in October of 2020. Going through a rough time. Warning, spoilers. So, some big dumb writer decided to kill Johnny Depp. You don't kill the Depp man. The Depp man kills you. So, this movie is actually a 0 out of 10, but big dumb IMDb won't let you rate 0 out of 10. I rate IMDb negative 556,324 out of 10. Thank you. Sincerely, Cool Kid Gaming Reviews. But their name was Katarn Skywalker.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's fine. They must use their parents' account or
Follow
something.
me on Roblox.
Okay.
Well, I didn't see anything in there, man.
All right. Maybe I read something different. That's fine.
Well, boys, it is time to start our modern day scene-by-scene breakdown of Nightmare on Elm Street. But first, a poem I wrote. 1, 2, this review's for you. 3, 4, better turn it up more. 5, 6, we're just a couple of dicks. 7, 8, we get a lot of hate. 9, 10, here we go again.
I love it.
I wrote that at 2 a.m. Scene 1. We see an unidentified individual creating a glove with sharp knives for fingers. Tina is rushing down ominous alleyways when the bizarre man lunges at her. Tina screams and wakes up from what was a nightmare. Tina meets her friends at school the next morning, and they all realize that they had the same nightmare. That night, Nancy, Glenn, and Rod decide to stay with Tina because her mother's gone out of town. Rod and Tina go upstairs into a bedroom to have sex, while Nancy and Glenn sleep separately downstairs. As all of them fall asleep, strange things begin to occur. Tina's chased in the dream and is in pain. Rod wakes up to watch her killed, and the room is now covered in her blood. Nancy and Glenn have now awakened and burst into the room to find Rod gone.
You know, when I'm taking a shower and my wife comes in and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna come in the bathroom." I'm like, "No, I have Teener going on."
Teener.
No, I got Teener.
Oh, I get it.
And then when it's a good day, I'm like, "No, come on in. I got Rod going on."
Yeah.
That's why Tina and Rod are together, aren't they?
They balance each other out.
Teener and Rod.
Hey, can you explain to me why? Remember, this is the first time I'm watching this, and I'm viewing this like small screen at the beginning.
Yeah.
As like, oh, they're watching this on a movie or something, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, now it's big screen.
I don't know what it is about it.
Is there any reason for that at all?
I don't know.
It just makes me think that they're like, oh, see, guys, this is how it all came together. It's like, is this a nightmare? Is this back in the day? Is this like, I don't know what's happening.
You know, it honestly reminds me of like VHS backings in back of the day, like this.
Yeah.
Like that's what it reminded me of. They have like the
small
screen
screen
right
up top.
here, and then the words. Yeah, it's I don't know.
It reminded me of a like a trailer.
I just wish there would have been some reason for it to just like it's showing it's small and it's Nightmare on Elm Street and then it's like no, now it's the same things happening, but now it's just a big screen now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know.
I was waiting and I was very blown away that this was how this movie starts.
Same here.
It was like holy shit, that's the guy, and what are we doing here?
I thought I jumped into it. I started it. You know how sometimes you'll start something on one of your streaming services, but then it's like, oh, somebody must have been watching this at some point, and it starts like a resume of some kind.
Or you mean the time when I finally said, you know what, I'm going to watch The Bear. A lot of people have been talking about The Bear.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch episode 1 of season 1, and guess what I watched? The final episode
of the entire thing.
Yeah,
I know that happened to me too.
And without even knowing, I'm like, this is cool. Like I don't. It's kind of like I don't even know where we're going with this.
Man, they really throw you in here. This is I can see what people are talking about. It's like, oh.
And it ended. I'm like, what an ending for episode 1. Oh, that was the entire series.
Oh, good. That was the end of season 3, and we're just starting season 4 now.
Do you if you guys ever remember having a dream where you like led up to a certain point? Because usually when I dream, you start just like right in the middle.
Okay, you're right. I mean, you just get into it. I see what he's saying.
Inception,
he's just putting us in the movie here. He's just like, you're in.
Yeah,
you're going.
he's like, this is you just show up in dreams. You just you don't know how you got there.
And
there's no context.
So you want the audience to literally just be like, where the fuck are we? What's going on here?
I wanted, if anything, I would have wanted this to be this whole sequence to be like way more in depth, to almost like a comedic sense of like he ends up stitching the glove together himself, and then he's like forging the knives onto the like tack welding
like
the
10 minutes long,
just 10-15 minutes of him just
coffee
working
break
on this one glove and him like scrolling his phone. Anyways, I better get back to work, and it's just him taking forever on this thing, and then it comes out to be like kind of crappy.
Starting up the smelting pot, turning on the smelting pot, and it's not turning on, so he's got to like get in there and like, God damn it!
Fuck, this is my third time.
Takes off his fedora and wipes his brow, and the skin comes off. It's just like, God damn.
It's like a montage scene from Days of Thunder when Harry's building the car, the NASCAR. Like that's what I want. Exactly.
He's talking to it sweetly.
We're gonna make you real sharp knives.
Trim some off the back. Make sure you're real sharp.
This is what I thought I looked like when I was like came home from high school to make my little swords and stuff that I beat dirt with outside. Yeah. I used to like wrap twine around the handle and I'm just like, I'm like Freddy. And I did it in a mask and it's like fucking 80 degrees out.
Sean, I gotta tell you, man, I'm so happy that you turned out the way you did, man. Because
I'm married now.
This could be weird. You could have gone down a weird path.
Congrats, man. Thank you.
My life's coming together.
I just imagine we're like we'll just to keep it on topic. We see those 3 girls like playing jump rope, and then the camera pans and you see a Sean in a mask
putting knives into the dirt. Yeah.
Every time, every shot in this movie that's outside should just have some sort of a Sean in the background. Just be like,
no, it's the Sean. It's that picture where Sean's sitting on the porch with the pumpkin next to him, and he's looking really mad. Like, that's the Sean I want.
Is Kubrick staring you in that photo?
If it was actually high school and I was actually sitting there, you'd see me like get up and then like adjust, put my shirt in between my belt buckle and my belly, because when it wasn't there, it would like
because it kind of hurt.
It hurt my belly. Like, I was allergic to like fake metal, so it made me break out right there too. So I didn't take my shirt off in gym.
Still have it.
Nope.
I speaking of comedy, when she is running away from him in this dream, that one shot where she's like not moving, they basically said, pretend like you're running, but don't go anywhere for the shot.
Go anywhere.
And it was the most obvious thing I've ever seen in my life. It's awesome.
I watched it like 3 times for this, and I'm watching it. I'm like, well, it's because like in dreams, it's like you can't like punch or anything. Like it feels like punching in water, or like running is like what later she's running like oatmeal.
Yes,
like getting stuck in the stairs. I was like that. But I couldn't get past the
they didn't intend for that.
I don't
think
so.
One shot right there.
I don't think so. Maybe I don't know.
Well,
she's like,
is that when he's got the big arms?
No, this is still in the initial first dream.
Oh, the initial first
yeah,
one.
before Teener wakes up.
Okay. All right, so Teener's down
never
in the
wakes up.
boiling room
Yep.
of the like underground thingy.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
This is what I thought all school basements looked like.
Of
they,
course.
they all had fire as just their boiler or whatever.
the Rock from Alcatraz.
They just had a somebody down there like in the Titanic shoveling
Yeah.
coal to run this fucking school.
To run
I'm
this
pretty sure
school
that's how it was.
Okay.
I'm pretty
with-
sure that's how the old schools were.
with asbestos you can see, like very clearly.
I'm making my murder glove as best as I can.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I do have to say, my brother had one of the fake gloves. Like it must have been for a Halloween costume, but
I had that too.
He had the glove, and like it was just such a weird thing to me to have around. I don't know, like
it's just weird. It doesn't seem like a practical like weapon.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't seem practical at all. It makes me wonder if Freddy is like right-handed or left-handed.
I think it was on his left hand, wasn't it?
Well,
I think it's on his
no,
right.
I think it's on his right hand. But if you're left-handed, you wear your baseball glove on your.
Oh, you're right. So are you gonna?
And-
Because you still
You
got to
know?
like start your car
Right.
and like get your car keys and everything and
Yeah.
like pour the cup of coffee in
You
the
got
morning.
to be able to actually function. You think he's got issues like Edward Scissorhands probably, where he just kind of forgets when he's just like, God, he's son of a, almost got my eye that time.
Good thing I have scar tissue right there.
Yeah.
When he takes a piss, he doesn't actually hold his dick. He
No.
he does just pulls it down and lets the dick come
Yeah,
over
yeah,
his
He
underwear.
kind of aims it with his hips.
Yeah.
I think I think he goes full like little kid
Yeah.
toddler.
Yep.
Even at the urinal.
But even the act of pulling
the
him
way
down
down.
with the knives on the
Yeah.
hands, like that just seems tough.
I don't know how he gets into his pants, but maybe that's why he wears the same outfit every day.
Yep.
Sleeps in it, works out in it.
Hey Fred, can you hand me that? Give me that bottle. Yeah, sure. God damn it, dude.
That's why we never invite
Just
you.
use your other hand, or put a glove on your non-dominant hand.
I just never think of it.
well,
or take it off.
You got to start, man, because it's causing problems.
You're not
All
fucking
right.
Wolverine
All
here,
right.
dude. You can take that off, okay?
Yeah, you actually have the ability to. That you know what? That's incredibly true. You can take that glove off anytime, man. Just take it off. I don't like to.
It's my thing.
Get off me.
If we were on a train to go punch a face, I'm on board.
That's what I'm talking about.
This was an easy one for me, guys. I'm punching Teener's mom's boyfriend.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
you're coming back to the sack.
can you just picture what happened here. They're getting ready to have some coitus, right?
Or they already have.
Or
He's
they
just
already
getting
did.
ready for round two. Like he's built up the stamina again to actually go in for
Yes,
round two.
and so
he's half stacked because he heard this scream. Half stacked, still damp, and they had to run it in there.
But Matt, this is like 2
Yes.
or 3 in the morning. You're in bed. Like it's hard to get out of bed, especially when you're old and fat like this guy is.
Yeah.
And so this is what happens. Scream happens. Mom gets up, runs to the room to ask what's okay. He's in bed. She gets up. Ready? 1 second, 2 seconds. God, is she coming back? Like it literally, like in 2 fucking seconds, he's like, "Babe, you gonna come back and fucking bone or what? I know, fuck your stupid daughter here, but like, come on back, let's go."
That makes you wonder if this is like even her dad. Or
That's
like
her boyfriend.
Or boyfriend.
It's
Or
boyfriend.
boyfriend.
They say
Makes me wonder
boyfriend.
if it's even her boyfriend.
She goes
It's her
to-
boyfriend. Like it's her affair from her current boyfriend.
She
something
goes to
like that.
Vegas with them or
Yeah.
with him is what they say later in the movie.
Because he needs full blown sex at any time, and that 5-second interruption, he's like,
yeah.
"We got to get out of here.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
going to Vegas.
These interruptions can't keep happening.
This cannot keep happening."
this is just great parenting too. She's just like, "What's going on?" She's like, "It's just a dream, Mom." She's like, "Well, don't do that."
She says, "Look, you got 2 options here, as far as I can see. You either trim up your nails, or just stop dreaming like that."
Pretty easy. Anyway, I got to get back to Carl.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fuck this Scarface guy.
This
He's-
extra from Scarface. He's-
We're gonna be made. He promised we'd have cold cut cannolis for the rest of our lives. Don't fuck this up.
He runs the deli down the way. We're gonna be set for life. We're going to a deli convention in Las Vegas. We're in.
He's a made man as far as loose meats go.
Are you guys punching him too, or are you going the Rod route? Because I mean, I can see.
I'm going the mom.
Oh,
I think
which
I
mom?
might.
Nancy's mom.
Ooh.
Can we just do like all the moms?
Yeah.
Can we just do all the moms and like most of the parents actually?
Yeah.
Like I think most of and all the parents, except for Cop Dad.
Yeah,
Cop Dad's pretty decent.
Yeah.
This is a where are the parents emotionally?
This is like, hey, there's too much parents. Yeah, they're around too much.
Boy, you guys are way too involved in your high schoolers' lives.
You don't understand. I don't need you here physically.
Yeah.
I need you here just to be here.
Just
if you know what I mean.
emotionally.
Thank you.
You are physically here, but really, where are you? Because I don't see you.
Is it Rod? Because up yours with a twirling lawnmower. All right, guys, it's my scene. I am Rod. The character Rod. I am playing character the Rod, so I'm gonna go.
So I'm going to go, but I will be back to do some sort of kind of rape thing, sexual assault thing. It'll be cool. I promise.
Awesome.
I'll just keep putting those vibes out there.
Don't worry, it'll be cool. I'll be back. I did like that exchange though between Tina and Rod though. Like that's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
Where she says, as a matter of fact, I had a bad dream last night myself. And he says, I had a heart on this morning when I woke up, Tina, and it had your name written all over it. She said, there's 4 letters in my name, Rod. How could there be room on your joint for 4 letters? Up yours with the twirling lawnmower. Rod says the sweetest things. Like
I just love that man.
Like he's nuts about you. Yeah, nuts.
I think some of that dialogue is pretty solid. I just don't like a lot of it how it's delivered.
That's
guys.
the key right there.
I have a real big problem with that throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'll get it out of the way now.
Can
No,
I mention who Rod is? Jesus, I think is how you say it.
Jesus,
Jesus Garcia.
okay.
Did you recognize? He's got a ton of credits, but did you recognize him at all? It's the only movie I really was like, oh, duh. We haven't done it yet. It's Along Came Polly. He's the gay friend of Jennifer Aniston.
Oh,
that
the
dances.
dancer?
The dancers.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
That's him. Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's been in a ton of movies and TV shows, and I'm assuming this was probably one of his early roles.
Yeah, he
still
was
figuring himself out a little bit
Oh
there.
yeah. He's deep into drugs at this point, is what I heard, and was doing them on set and stuff. But yeah,
nice.
Some of them
just being living in character, man.
I'm
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
I wear a leather jacket in this movie. You gotta act like it.
It's California.
Yeah.
And I never take it off.
Weird.
Yeah.
I do agree with you, AJ, that some of the delivery, as far as the lines go, but even with Jesus Garcia, some of his performance later in the movie, especially when he's in the jail, I'm like, wow, he's actually doing really good.
You can see the flashes of it a little bit. Yep.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's spurses here and there of where even Heather Langenkamp, I'm like,
She's the main.
It's like her.
She's Nancy.
One of her first movies, and you can see that it is, but also there's points where you're like, ah, damn, she's doing really good.
You sure can see that it is.
Really
at
conflicting.
Certain moments.
They're and didn't you say how many people did she beat out for this? Everyone.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot of people. Her delivery of the line actually coming up right here when they're at Tina's house. They where she's like, yeah, he was in my dream. It was like I could hear the screeching, and she did that noise, and that won Wes over. He's like,
Wow.
that's fucking it right there.
Wow.
I don't like though that actual sound design of his clock. That was something that they're like, oh, this can be so scary because you're gonna hear it. It's like nails on it. It's like, no, that's just not the sound that claws would make on
I had
metal.
to try and mute it every time because my dogs would freak out.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
It never matched up with how his fingers are on the metal. It was not the sound that it would make on the metal. It was just, After the great sound effects gag of Johnny Depp's character having the tape recorder and talking to his mom, I thought that was hilarious.
You thought this is funny?
I thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
Which is I am kind of a stand-up comedy guy, so people trust me when it comes to that kind of stuff.
For sure.
Or what is comedy? Mike knows.
No, that is comedy. That is an audio gag in a visual medium. That's funny.
Probably because I had the exact same sound effects cassette tape when I was a kid, so that's probably what it was. I was like, oh, next is the scream. Yeah. Are we having fun?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
When they finally get there though, and they're all hanging out, and we've been talking about all this as far as the dialogue and sometimes the performances and everything, and not not to maybe say maybe it's obvious or whatever, but Johnny Depp is like does the best job throughout this. It's just kind of
Clearly.
There's no doubt about it. There's no shock, I guess, or maybe I don't know. It's not shocking, and maybe it's not shocking why he went on to do great things. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's like you can see you're like, wow, young Johnny Depp, and he's just kind of playing like the boyfriend character in a slasher movie, you know? And that's like pretty typical of like anybody could kind of do it. But then you see like flashes of like, oh wow, there's Johnny Depp right there, especially like after he gets tackled by Rod, and he threatens him with the knife and everything. He's like, "Did you see his face?"
Yeah,
I'm like, "Oh wow, it's Johnny Depp right there."
Yeah, that's what you get. Like even him later on when he's talking about like the dream, the culture that does like the dream research or whatever. That whole monologue, that time as well is like really good. So he's got flashes of great Johnny Depp in here, and it's introducing Johnny Depp,
and it's
insane.
his true first role.
True
a lot of
first.
times you'll see somebody has done some TV or
introducing. Johnny Depp.
No, this is literally the first time he's ever like, I'll try acting.
Yeah.
I guess I'll try it.
And it was kind of that. I mean, I think he wanted to be an actor, but like I said, he was just with his friend who would weirdly go on to play Freddy Krueger in the remake.
Wow.
But he was just with his friend and was like, yeah, I'll audition, I guess. And he was the most handsome.
Sean, there was some really cool. This is where the movie excels for me. Some of the like sleight of hand tricks that they use to film the Freddy Krueger scenes, like especially this first, I guess, second dream with Teener. There's two. Like you see him down the alleyway, and he starts running, but then camera turns and Freddy's right there.
It's very simple. Yeah.
It's such a simple way of doing it, but it's effective because you don't see it coming. And then that weird little like fake tree where he pops out from behind the tree, just so simple to do those things back in '84. But man, it was like every time I was like, oh yeah, got me.
This is what this series is known for too. Like they get even crazier, I think, in the sequels, in my opinion. Like Dream Warriors, the third one, is I think maybe my favorite, but just the in-camera effects that they do to pull this shit off is amazing. And like that's what we love to see, you know. Like I have to assume that the remake went full bore CGI with everything, and it just doesn't work as well. It's the uncanny valley of seeing, like, I'd rather someone be stepping in like on the stairs, stepping into like a homemade porridge of like oatmeal and like glue or whatever. I'd rather see that than just like, you know, their foot sinking in, but like digitally.
It feels like liquid wood.
Yeah.
It feels more horror to me when it's kind of like that. When it's just like it seems very blue collar and like low budget to do horror back in these days.
Definitely.
And that's what I think we all like about it is that we like about it.
Yeah. Well, and I have to push back a little bit. I do think Johnny Depp is very good and maybe the best performance, but Freddy Krueger, man.
Sure. I mean,
England.
Robert Englund.
Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger is just fucking incredible. And like this is where it's at. What do you guys think of first seeing Freddy Krueger?
Well, I mean, he's terrifying.
This is the scene where he finally reveals his face and he's got the claws. That's pretty iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first time the whole world
is God.
Because they didn't, when they advertised this movie, there was really no like, there's a villain named Freddy Krueger and he looks like this. I was under the impression that it was kind of ambiguous to like, we don't know. It's nightmares and there's the claws and who knows. And so imagine being in the audience for the first time opening night and seeing that, you're like, holy shit, this is our guy. Like it was Sean, I'll talk more about it later. I love him. I love his performance, but I don't necessarily like Freddy Krueger. I don't like this.
You don't like that he's a child molester?
No, not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I guess
don't. There'd be some.
I don't like that he's just like, I'm funny. I'm a stand-up comedian, and we do gags and like, and I talk a lot, and it's funny because I say cool lines. The scariest people to me are the Michael Myers and the Jason Voorhees and the like, we don't even know. We have no clue what's going on with this person. This guy's like,
because he did get way more jokey.
Yes.
He became like an actual punchline in like the sequels.
Yes.
Is that right?
This one, he's still like, he is like fucking with them and like he thinks it's funny. I do agree with that, but like it's also, this is way more like,
I know,
dark and scary than what it did become, you know what I mean?
Which is why I probably won't go forward too far.
Go forward to
like maybe 2 or 3.
2 or 3, yeah. There's some good ones in there. 3 definitely. 2 was actually like, I think he's scarier in 2.
Okay, cool.
I don't know why, but I just
Well,
feel-
that's how Halloween sort of was for me too.
Oh, yeah?
Halloween
Okay.
2, I felt like he got even scarier for that second one. So
Well, Wes wanted, because he knew that all these slashers like Michael and Freddy like had their mask and everything, and they couldn't say anything. He's like, what if one had like a personality?
Yeah.
But I still want him to be like menacing looking. So he's like, well, I'll just burn him because the scar tissue alone will just be scary, and so he can perform through that. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm glad we have those options.
Yes,
of like,
correct.
You're
Yeah.
either a Freddy guy or somebody else guy.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you totally are one of them. Yeah.
before we move on, we'll talk more about him later. But this death scene of Tina, my God.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe that this was so absolutely insane, and the upside down and her getting dragged up, and like I was like, hey, yeah, whatever, Nightmare on Elm Street, and then this happened. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. I love this.
This is actually, yeah,
It's frightening, dude.
It's honestly, I think it's the best one of the entire movie.
Yeah.
And then from there, like the unfortunate thing, like it just kind of goes downhill from there to me.
Yeah.
Because this is a pretty terrifying way that they put this together. That her just, I mean, I've seen it happen a lot in some more recent scarier movies, getting dragged up the wall, over the ceiling, all the way across the room by some invisible force. I don't. They do it very well. It seems like it might be the first time or that I can remember watching it. You know, something like this. And this is 84 or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, like it just seemed really well done. It's pretty terrifying.
It is, and like even like when she like gets her belly slashed, she's like screaming and squirming and everything, and the sound that she makes, it's like like it just sounds like she's getting gutted, and that's terrifying. And then obviously what we're talking about is just getting dragged up the wall and screaming for Rod, and like him in frame even is just like, it looks incredible still to this day. It really does.
You know, right when she was getting that sex, she was saying, "Oh God, oh God." Now she's saying, "Oh Rod." You know, like help me. You know, like I got that. Like I could tell where they were going with that. You know, like get Rod is the only thing that can save you now.
Yeah.
She was saying, "Oh God," maybe that's what he meant. This is God. This is gonna fuck you up.
Even that final, like she's
That's
screaming, and that final drop down to, and then silence.
Yeah.
And he gets blood all over his face. Like
Blood
then you hear
everywhere.
Then you hear him from. Then it switches to their point of view on the outside, and you hear him being like, "Oh, who the fuck are you? Like, what? Where are you? Like, who did this?"
Yeah.
And like, I mean, think of Rod's perspective on this. He just watched that happen, and he knew somebody was under the covers, and now he doesn't. That's terrifying.
Oh yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. No. Why would you like it,
No.
Mike? Nobody.
I don't.
Likes
Some
that.
people, some kind of people, they're like, "That was cool."
Some people are into this and they like to watch these over and over again.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Faces of Death.
Man, these people are weird.
Yeah, dude.
Scene 2. At the police station, Nancy's giving her account of what happened to her father, Lieutenant Donald Thompson. Rod is suspected of the killing, but the police can't find him. As Nancy walks to school the next morning, Rod appears and pulls her into some bushes. Before they can talk any further, Lieutenant Thompson appears with his men and arrests Rod. At school, the exhausted Nancy falls asleep in English class. She drifts out of the classroom and follows the bloody trail down to the basement. Freddy emerges. Just before he can kill her, she burns her arm on a hot pipe and wakes up back in class. No, honey. Yeah, listen, Rod's a fucking psycho. You literally need to believe your dad here. Nothing could possibly explain otherwise since you did not see the death.
Correct.
You cannot go into this situation being like, I bet it was some invisible sleep demon.
Yeah.
Not Rod. Not the guy that we really kind of don't like and that has shown propensity to do crazy things like this.
Yeah. You know the guy who just carries a switchblade around and just brandishes it at anybody he wants, whenever he wants? Yeah. The guy with the lawnmower jokes. He doesn't even have any good jokes, man.
You mean the guy with the leather jacket in California?
This is ridiculous.
Psycho. No, like this whole interaction is like in the police station.
Oh, God.
Is like, it's kind of hard to watch.
This is the worst acting of the entire movie. All culminated here.
It's like the dad is the only thing that saves it. He's the only guy in this entire scene that like saves this scene. But unfortunately, he has this line that's like, all right, I won't lean in on it too hard, but I still want to know why you were there alone and why you decided to. It's like you just said you weren't going to lean in on it, and then you just keep drilling it home, Dad.
Kind of valid.
I'm not saying it's not valid. I'm just saying it's like, God. It's
also, we know why. It's because your fucking mom, my ex-wife, is a drunk whore. I'm saying this is what Donald Thompson is saying. He knows why. He knows why mom's not taking care of her.
She sucks. I don't know why I had you stay with her.
You're the only good thing that came out of me being with her for 12 years. Otherwise, I wish I could just rewind and never have met her.
That'd be awesome.
Because she's the worst. Did you know that she won an award? What's her name? Who's the one that plays
Ronnie
the mom?
Blakely.
Ronnie Blakely. Yeah. Did you know she was nominated for supporting actress in this? Just kidding. She was fucking terrible.
No, she.
Oh my God.
She is like actually bad.
Yeah.
Sean,
like-
and it like gets worse as the movie goes on.
It does. She has this way of talking and like performing that's very soap opera-y, where she like moves her head in a certain way to like explain herself, and it just seems soap opera. She's like, Nancy, please. You have to calm down.
Please, Nancy.
You just have.
It's a lot of this. It's this motion whenever it's something kind of stressful. No. It's a lot.
No. It's like overacting stage,
Please.
like theater overacting kind of instead of.
Oh God, no.
It's a couple steps. I'll give it a step above like Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Okay.
Style.
Slightly.
Like we're like up a little bit. Like, okay, we gave you a couple extra takes to finally get it that we can bear you at this point. That it's bearable. And that's where I feel like this performance is at. It's just not good, guys. Yeah. That's all I want to say.
It's not. It's really unfortunate because I think it's an important character.
It's so important.
Every scene that she's in, I'm just like,
like think of it this way. This character technically is the origin story of how Freddy Krueger came to be this nightmare demon.
Oh my God.
She's basically Jamie Lee Curtis of the Freddy series, right?
She's like, the sister of in Halloween that was killed or something. You know,
like,
I mean, she's just that important.
Yeah.
This is the only reason we have 9 movies.
She's almost the Donald Pleasance of Halloween. He's got all the backstory on Michael Myers.
It's so important, like you just said. Like, it's an important role. And it's somebody that we should have some reverence for, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
we don't.
We have none.
He would kill kids. And now he's back.
And by the way, she's not even a very credible source of like feedback. When she describes it, he killed like 20-something kids or something.
It was so long ago. It was like 12 years ago.
We knew him. Drinks more. Like, you're an alcoholic who doesn't even remember the details.
She literally gets done with like a bottle of vodka. She's like, it was just so hard.
Like she's actually never drank before, and this is what she thinks drinking's like.
She brings vodka bottles out of nowhere.
Dude, but you're absolutely right. This could have been a bigger deal. Like, imagine that the reason she's drinking and the reason that she's just the way she is because of these events that happened a long time ago, which I think is what they're kind of going for, but you never once like feel for it.
No,
you never feel for it.
You never feel for it, but it could totally have been like, oh, this is why their relationship never worked out. And this is why it's been a rough life for her, because she's been dealing with the trauma of like killing somebody, but for the betterment, but I still killed somebody, and that's why I drink. You know, I'm protective of you. No, just
like that is man, God, it's really is. It's frustrating to the point that, oh, well, I'm trying to protect you. When they're in the kitchen after that like first day or that night or whatever, and by the way, she's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to school after I just watched the most horrific murder that's ever happened in the entire world. Essentially,
midterms
are coming up though. Can't miss it. slurps coffee out of nowhere the same way her mom drinks alcohol.
Well, no,
out
she
of
takes the
nowhere.
coffee
Yeah.
out of the coffee cup out of her hands because she just poured vodka in it. She's like, no, I don't drink that.
Oh, that's right.
Ooh. To me, it's just like she's. If the mom's pulling alcohol out of nowhere, I feel like coffee mugs come out of nowhere for Nancy.
Yeah.
Where it's just like out of the frame. It's just like I gotta go to school. It just like drops down out of frame again.
Someone else's hands come up and give it to her.
Comes in from side of the frame, just like.
Oh man, but then you get to the school actually, and I don't know. Even then, you get this next dream sequence.
Well, Lynn Shay first.
Oh, you want to talk about Lynn Shay?
I love Lynn Shay. Bob Shay's the producer's sister. So maybe a little bit of nepotism, but this might be the best case of nepotism I've ever seen because Lynn Shay is the fucking best.
So what is her actual name in this movie? The
Teacher? I don't know.
Is it
Just
just
teacher?
teacher? Well, what happened obviously is that she was working as a teacher. That was kind of her thing. She wanted to do her whole life, like educating these high school kids, getting them ready for real life. She loved it, especially like teaching them about Shakespeare and unfortunately, when all this happened, like that school didn't recover very well from like all these deaths and so she said, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to move. She moves to Rhode Island, marries a rich guy named Bill Nugaborn. And so she doesn't have to be a teacher anymore. So she starts a dog grooming business, and her name is Mrs. Nugaborn. And she has this business where she takes dogs to show, and she gives them to Harry, and Harry Harry feeds them foot-long hot dogs.
She eventually, like, the relationship doesn't work out. She just kind of gets in trouble for, having this happen to those dogs and everything. So she gets kind of fired from her job. And then she just, kind of falls into, being like a landlady of an apartment.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And so she's a landlady of this apartment building, and like she's trying to get this money from this guy who just keeps avoiding her, and is like going bowling all the time.
You got money to bowl, you got money to pay me, man.
Yeah, exactly. And so like once he doesn't have money, he has to offer something, and that's a good fuck.
Coerces her into coitus.
Yeah.
There it
I mean,
is.
and she hasn't been fucked like that since grade school.
Yeah, Kingpin.
Yeah.
That's yikes.
Just throwing it out there. That is the universe that you know and love.
Wait, no, the line is
That was Fight Club.
Yeah. The line is I haven't had sex nothing like great sex after a good crap or something like that. Or nothing like good sex that makes me need to crap. One of the best lines ever.
While he's just hugging a toilet. Ugh.
Wasn't that bad. Sorry. Anyway, this dream sequence.
No, this one, like, again,
Why couldn't she have been the mom? Sorry, I just wanted to
Dude.
throw
Why
that
couldn't
out
she
there.
have been the mom?
Why couldn't she have been the mom?
I know.
You know how insanely better this movie would have been
Yeah.
if
Yep.
she would have been the mom.
Yep. But we didn't get it. Instead, we got her teaching class, and this next dream sequence is great because even like Teener being in that body bag, and like she's down the hallway and the legs go up, and then she gets pulled away. That's terrible. That's frightening.
These are pretty terrible, terrifying scenes.
Yeah, and I like. I thought about it a little bit about how you don't. Some movies would make this really feel like you were in a dream every time you were actually in a dream. Like maybe they'd cloud up the screen, or they'd throw some graininess to it, or change the tint to it. But this doesn't.
Right.
And at first I was like, man, I kind of wish they would. But then they just use little tells to let you know you're in the dream. And sometimes they don't even want you to know you're in there. Like even that kid, that jock reading Shakespeare, how he's reading it normal, and then all of a sudden he's reading it kind of ominously.
Right.
Those little things are great ways to let you know you're in the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. And same with like, I don't know, the blood trail. I guess that's a kind of a bit of a tell as well. The blood trail.
Or the hall pass lady that looks like she's 50 and has blood all over her face. Yeah.
And Freddy's claw too.
Yeah, weird.
It's like, but yeah, I like that she just has like a different color sweater on. Like, I don't know. Like, but that should be a tell too. But then at the same time, for me, I'm like, that could honestly just be what somebody else is wearing,
Yeah.
Like, so I got a little mixed up every now and again, and I was like, well, it's a striped sweater. It's got to be Freddy, right? So then eventually it was.
Yeah.
So, but like you say, for me, sometimes I just need that because I'm watching this movie because we're watching this movie, right? if you're a person who doesn't like or watch these movies, it's like, just feed me a little bit more.
I have to watch this.
Just give me a little bit more to work with here. Tell me it's the dream by adding the tint. I don't know.
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
But it pays off later that you don't know these things,
Yeah,
I think.
that's true.
So that's where it makes sense that they didn't do it.
You are supposed to not understand what's dream and what's real, or be able to separate the two necessarily. Maybe this is now happening in the real world is the idea, that's what things are happening in the real world.
They should get a totem like they do in Inception.
Maybe it's almost like they inspired Inception.
It's almost.
Almost.
So
Let's go.
So
Let's go on to scene 3. So she visits Rod in prison and finds out Rod is having the same nightmares. At home, Nancy falls asleep in the bathtub and she's pulled underwater but is saved by her mother. Nancy asks Glenn to stay over and wake her if she's in trouble. She dreams, but Glenn falls asleep too. When she wakes up, they hurry to the jail but find out that Rod is dead from his Freddy nightmare.
So yeah, I think this is where Rod is a good performance here. Zhu Garcia.
Yeah.
Jesu. Yeah, I like him a lot in here because I do sympathize with his character a lot because you just went through a traumatic thing. Your fucking girlfriend just got slaughtered in front of you by something.
And you have no alibi.
You're like, I don't know what to say. It just wasn't me. Like what the fuck am I supposed to tell you? Yeah, I do sympathize with that. But then like he says that he's had these dreams too. It's like he had a glove and he was like trying to kill me with it and shit. I don't know. There's something about him in this scene where I'm like, oh, wow, he's not that bad.
No.
As other people are. But yeah, I liked him a lot in this.
I think that it really finally shines through when he doesn't have that like overbearing dialogue that he has to force out of up yours with the twirling lawnmower shit. You know what I mean? Like when he doesn't have to force his way through that, then he's fine. He does a great job. And like watching this stuff though too, I think these are some pretty like earnest portrayals or you know, yeah, I think it's pretty decent.
Because you could read a line like up yours with a twirling lawnmower and be like, who says this?
Yeah.
Who's ever said this in their life?
I have a question.
It's
unnatural.
No one would actually say this. Can I bring that up or do I have to read it? Okay, fine, whatever. I'll read it.
We still have to read this. It's like I don't have any say to change this up.
Okay.
Anthony Hopkins isn't going to read that line.
No.
Okay.
No, he's not.
Yours with the twirling lawnmower.
Actually, that kind of works. I'm kind of into that. Again, these special effects in the tub, man, like the fact that I guess they built it over a pool, and then in some of the shots they actually painted the bottom black, so that it would appear bottomless. But man, if I would have watched this as a kid, I was already terrified of like pool drains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if they would have shown some like weird CGI of like the claw coming out of the drain of the tub and then up, like I would have just probably never. I didn't get in pools for a while after like watching Jaws and stuff like that because I thought sharks would come through the drain. But if I knew Freddy Krueger could come out of the drain of a bathtub, like I don't think I'm taking a bath anymore.
It's such an iconic shot and it's so well done too. It's just. And it's so creepy, so vulnerable, I imagine.
Ugh.
Like, I mean, just even being a guy with your shit right there.
Yeah.
You know, just like coming in between your legs like
The
that.
placement of it.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's just so fucking creepy and weird. But yeah, it just looks so good.
Then it, for some reason, it just feels very tchotchke, almost funny because it's just like, Nancy?
He's like, dude, shut up.
Stop. Don't move.
But that is also where the lines blur a little bit of the rules of this, right? Because like, is she dreaming? So she's dreaming, so that's why the claw's coming up. But then when Nancy's mom does she then wake up? So that's why the claw goes away. Because it just blurs on the rules of this reality of where he can be and where he can't be. And is that an alternate reality dream world, or is he actually in the physical world while they're dreaming? None of that really gets answered in this movie. I don't know if it does ever again.
And I don't.
But
in my opinion, I don't really need any of that.
Yeah.
I don't really need to know any of that. I just because even. Lately, almost, I've just been getting home working so fucking hard,
Yeah, dog.
And like eating, and then like I am just like passing out on the couch, just like drifting off, and like I'm not even like unconscious yet, but I'm like seeing images.
Yes.
I'm kind of getting to be dreaming, so I see that in this because I've been that tired, and like maybe she is that tired, you know, of just like
The lines blurring,
barely,
sort of.
barely asleep, and I'm like, what did you just say something? No, I heard that in my dream or something like that, you know.
It's that edge of sleep that you're on, like when I was on the plane home.
Yeah,
You know, you're just like, I'm on the short last flight. It's like 2 hours long, and you're like in this uncomfortable position, kind of like this, and you're like, you're out, but then you're just like immediately back up.
If you were in a bed, you would have slept for 10 hours.
Correct.
Yep.
But because you're on a plane
'Cause
where
you're
there's
doing this.
shit and
Then that's where
why
you're
she's
at.
in a bathtub. There
Right.
you go.
Yes, exactly. It's like she's on this verge of that. And like that is a different plane of existence. I'm convinced. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, it really is. And so maybe that's just where it kind of lends itself. I don't know.
No,
the
I think
idea.
you're right on that. I mean, God, you start dealing with. We'll deal with it in the next scene about like what dreams are and like sleep paralysis. Have you ever had like sleep paralysis or
No,
anything like
I
that?
don't want it.
I've had small bouts of it.
That's what's so terrifying to me about movies like this that deal with dreaming and like Inception is like. I have a note for the next scene of like they're like we don't know what dreams are. I'm like oh so long ago we know what they are now and I'm like no we still don't really know what they are.
Yeah.
Like we don't have any clue what the fuck is actually happening
and it's really
terrifying.
cool. Yeah, I mean, terrifying, but also really cool. Where it's just like, yeah, your mind's just like giving you stories.
Yeah.
Here's your stories.
While you're resting, you know, I like that a lot. Like just talking, I like that subject, I guess,
Yes.
a lot. But like on the subject of sleep paralysis, have you seen the documentary The Nightmare? It's a like multiple people with sleep paralysis tell their stories of like seeing the same shit, like the people or like the shadow people and stuff.
Don't like that
If you want a scary movie, watch The Nightmare.
because that's real life.
It's real life and real interviews and stuff. You know, it's like subjective if you want to believe them or not. But you know.
I'll tell you what. If I had a sleep paralysis demon, at least for me, it would certainly be wearing a completely soaked, damp knit sweater because that's a fucking nightmare. Are you kidding? Like he's in this pool, and I saw like once I saw the sleeve come up too, not just his arm. I was like, ah. Like,
that's the type of sweater where all the little like the strings are going to come out and get in your tub and start floating around.
You're gonna feel like you're wearing it even 10 minutes after you take it
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
And that thing now officially weighs like 15 pounds. like it's like wearing a tack jacket.
Well, she says too, hundreds of people die a year drowning and falling asleep in a bathtub. I'm like, man, we're fucked.
It's like, where are you getting these statistics from, Mom? Why do you know that?
Fake news, Mom. You're watching too much CNN. Okay, Mom. That's what they want you to think, Mom.
You need to buy your tactical bath. That's why.
Yeah. You get your. Does this ever happen to you? So, get the new tack bath. Digging on down, down. The new tack bath has a durable bottom that never slips.
Not even knives could break through it.
You wear this watch, and if it detects that you're not breathing, it pulls the plug on the tub, and all the water comes out within seconds.
Within seconds.
And an alarm goes off. Gross.
Batteries not included.
I do love how weird Johnny Depp's character thinks it is for her to be like, listen, I just want you to watch me sleep. And he's kind of like weirded out by it. And I'm like, damn, me and my girlfriend in high school used to just fall asleep on the phone and be like, you go to sleep first. Like, I'll fall asleep first. You go to sleep. That wasn't weird. I thought that was pretty awesome.
You know,
I wish she would have
there?
asked me to come over and watch her sleep.
Yeah,
I
same.
would have loved to have done it, but
There's
still
an
there?
activity we could do that it keeps people up. It's like an activity that's like a physical activity that we could do.
Yeah, but then when that activity's over.
Well, I'm just saying, like, yes, after 5 minutes, it's going to be done for, and then you're going to have to wait 10 minutes after that for me to be back again. So,
Are
like,
you guys talking about checkers?
yes.
Because that's a pretty quick game.
It's
I
a very
understand
quick
what
game.
you're saying.
Yeah, you are very good at it.
Yeah.
We have played together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why I say, like, that's kind of a. It usually takes about 10 minutes for me to, like, kind of come back and want to play again.
You want to do
Regroup.
it again?
Yeah.
It's either that or Twister. I couldn't tell what you guys were talking
Yeah,
about.
one of the. Yeah, it's one and the same.
No,
to be
that's fine.
honest.
That's
She's
fine.
watching The Evil Dead,
Yes.
which is one of the highest rated movies.
One of
all
the highest
time.
rated movies of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They
rightly so. Raimi had Hills Have Eyes poster in Evil Dead, so they're like doing this back and forth thing. Kind
Hey,
of
we're
cute.
friends.
They're
Right.
playing.
Kind of cute.
Look at that.
It's
They're
like
kinda
pre-social media. It's
jabbing
like,
at each other.
Tagged you in something.
Yeah.
I tagged you.
Hey, did
Oh,
you
I
see
didn't
that?
see that.
You see that tag? I tagged you in it.
Oh,
man.
cool. I'll go check it out.
Wait,
Cool, man.
when was that? Oh, dude, I missed that. I missed that. Did you see you were on my top 8 for a little while?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Wow, dude.
cool.
I do
That's
like
pretty dope.
I do like that they're that Rod is using the Epstein method for suicide here in the jail. Soon to be Diddy method. You know what I mean? Like, I love it, man. It's awesome where they're like, yeah, he definitely killed himself.
Did he?
Did he? Oh, did he? Did he? By the time this comes out,
Unfortunately, he did.
by the time this comes out, Diddy may have committed suicide. You never know.
You're gonna have to keep an eye on this to make sure you like edit around properly if something happens between now and release.
No, man. Like, it is like if there were Vegas odds on Diddy committing suicide, it's pretty good.
I mean, well, in real life, yes, but Freddie got him.
Yes.
Freddie got him.
Do you think Freddie got Epstein?
Yeah, probably.
Oh shit.
That's feasible.
No one
That's
talks
actually more
about,
believable.
No one talks about the good side of Freddie anymore. Okay, he did. He did the things with the kids. Whatever.
He's literally doing God's work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
That is God.
This is God. He's
Didn't
doing
you-
the work.
Didn't you say initially that they wanted him to be have been a child molester, Freddie?
Yeah,
the
they
character
did.
of Freddie.
They did take it out for this, I think, and then in the remake they put it back in. Actually.
Really?
Yeah, and
Okay.
so in this, he's just a child killer.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's a kinder person.
Yeah, he just kills him.
he kills him. He doesn't molest
He
them.
just gets it done quick. Puts him out of their misery.
Okay, all right.
Instead of just Ugh.
I do have a question here. Again, maybe we're diving too deep. Is Rod dreaming? Because we're not seeing Rod's dream here in the jail. All we're seeing is Rod sleeping with the noose coming around his head.
Yeah.
So is this happening in Rod's dream? Is he like dreaming of being in that situation where he is being hung so then in the real world he can be hung? Like
I think.
And why can Nancy see him right now?
yes.
Yeah, and so that was my other thing too. When Nancy's like, "Glenn, are you still there?" and he peeks around behind the tree.
Yes, he's like in the same
is
dream.
he in her dream? Are they having the same dream? That never really got
No.
fleshed out either. And so it was like kind of the same thing with Rod. She's dreaming, right? And seeing Freddie come into the jail because they're both awake by the time he's getting
Yes.
hung. So I do think Rod is dreaming.
They were all in the same. Maybe it's a dream world, which is why Freddie doesn't just kill every kid every night. It's like a separate realm that he exists in, and when all of the kids fall asleep, they go into that realm, like the Upside Down.
I see.
Like it's
Okay.
the same world. So Rod was in there. Everyone that was sleeping was in that world.
Yeah, and so when they are,
And he
when
can
they
only
are,
kill one person.
When they are in there at the same time, they are
Yes.
in there at the same
okay.
time.
That's a little more feasible.
I like that.
Thanks for writing this, guys.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that because I needed the help.
And you know what else they do? I'm wondering, is this part of the lore tour? Like why doesn't he just imagine this? You fall asleep, you're like, oh no, I'm gonna fall asleep, and you fall asleep, and right as your brain clicks over, Freddy goes, ha, pow, and he just kills you.
Yeah.
But it never happens. It's like this buildup.
It's said that he likes to like feed off the
Okay.
fear.
Does that power him up?
Yes.
Sort of? Okay,
Like,
cool. I like that.
Especially in Freddy vs. Jason, actually, is like where they really have that into mind because Freddy needs Jason to go into Elm Street to start scaring people, thinking that it's Freddy, so Freddy can come back, gain power, and then come back. That's what
I see.
that one's about.
They
So it's
really
like,
don't touch on that kind of stuff in this movie,
Yeah.
though. Like, it's just more implied.
It's like Santa Claus, basically.
Pretty much.
He needs people to believe in him, so that way his
The Freddy
meter can.
The Freddy meter is at an all-time low.
It's Elf.
It's basically Elf.
So then he gets
So-
the people to sing the 1,
Yeah.
2, Freddy's coming for
Nightmare on
you.
Elm Street is basically Elf.
It's basically Elf. All right.
It's Zoe Deschanel still has the same monotone voice as
Yeah.
these kids, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, it's coming. It's like the trees are alive. Sorry, Zoe Deschanel. I love you.
we love you a lot.
I
It's
love
almost
you too.
Christmas season.
I really love.
All right, let's go to scene 4. So Marge takes Nancy to a sleep clinic where they monitor her body as she sleeps. Her nightmare sends the instruments haywire. Nancy is inexplicably holding the killer's fedora. She says she was holding onto it when she woke up. Nancy's mother finally opens up to her and tells her the truth about Fred Krueger. You want to consult the Jarrett Layoff Confused Breakfast Actor Database?
Let's do it.
Lynn Shay, this is her third movie she's been in. We talked about it, Dumb and Dumber, this one, and Running Man. She was in Running Man as well. There was one person that has also been in 3. Anybody know?
Charles Fleischer.
Yes. Charles Fleischer being the sleep doctor here at the facility. He was in this. He was the voice. He was a bunch of voices in Roger Rabbit, namely Benny the Cab. But he was Terry in Back to the Future 2.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's like, can you believe it? The Cubbies won the World Series, huh? Like when he gets to the future. Yeah, that's Terry.
Jeez.
Charles Fleischer.
He's
been in a ton of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, ton of stuff.
He's
Only 3 we've done.
Great as like the red herring kind of in Zodiac.
Yeah.
He's like, not a lot of houses in California have basements. Mine does.
All right. The sleep clinic. Like when they come out of this and it's like, you need to get her somewhere safe. I'll do one better. I'm going to get her some help. Goes to sleep doctor. It's just like, it's just so
No,
fucking
AJ, it's this. I'll do one better. I'm going to get her some help.
She like swings into that car like a kid on like the monkey bars. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
And then John Saxon as the dad just like, God damn it.
it's like I gotta get custody. This is
He
I gotta
turns.
do something.
He turns and breaks the fourth wall. He's like, that's why you shouldn't have kids.
No, she's
I'm still
hammered, so
attached to her.
She drives out of the cemetery like,
That would have been awesome if they just showed the car.
it's
going,
cop car, other person's car. It's sideswipes tree.
cuts back to John Saxon. She's like,
Fuck, man.
yeah, I got to get custody.
Hell, I gotta report that now too. As if I didn't have enough going on right now with this like super homicide like murder trail.
Did they already go to the to Rod's funeral
Yes,
before
this
she went to the sleep?
Yes, that's right before the sleep clinic.
Dude, fuck this priest, by the way. Did you like
Yeah.
he basically
Super dick.
looked right at the parents and is like, your kid's a piece of shit. That's why your kid's dead.
And
but
what-
also rest in peace, Rod.
What a low turnout for a funeral.
Dude, come on, man. If you're in high school, I don't care if you're a bully. Like, there's going to be a giant seminar at your school that people have passed away.
He was my best friend. Like you talked to him once. You
Like,
know.
didn't
This
he
is the first
bully
time-
you?
Yeah.
No, I'm realizing death for the first time, and it's good for my poetry. And
Yeah.
this girl thinks I'm cool because my friend died. You know, like this.
I'm
going
gonna
to
take my cameras and make a film out of it.
Turns out if you're a piece of shit, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
And then what a weird scene too, because he looks at
kind
them.
of weird. You guys, maybe parents take a hint. There's not a lot of people here. Yeah.
The priest looks at his parents, and then his parents look at the cop. I'm like, why? What does the cop have to do with any of this?
it's like you were right, copper. Like
You-
what?
Well, you guys didn't see like the deleted scene of like Nancy was actually like falling asleep, and then like that the priest said that, and it was revealed to be Freddie who was actually giving the sermon or whatever, and then like she wakes back up.
Oh.
No,
So
it's just been really fucked up if she fell asleep at Rod's funeral. I'm just like,
Pretty boring funeral.
oh my god.
like,
I'm not a practicing Catholic. They did all these readings, and I don't understand. Well, they did communion at a funeral. I don't even know what that is.
I don't even get it.
I don't get it.
I don't even get it. Okay.
All right, sleep clinic.
Sleep clinic.
Charles Fleischer as this doctor is actually kind of creepy. He's like, oh yeah, she's dreaming now.
Oh, yeah.
and it's a good one.
Ooh.
Oh, it's getting up to 4 now.
He's just like, oh, it's getting good.
I love my job.
He's just really into dreams.
oh my gosh, she's sleeping so fucking hard.
Oh God. Her eyes are going so fast. Slow down.
She's in REMs now.
No, they're REMs.
REMs.
Sorry.
She's in REMs now.
She's entering into REMs. Oh, the band. I love those guys.
Were they around by then?
No.
The world has-
He's like, she's going into REMs right now, or REMs right now. Turns it up. It's the end.
No, it's that's me in the corner.
He's kind of humming it too.
Shout out to Half Lefts for that TikTok, man. Oh man.
her hair is gray from stress, I believe. That's what I got out of
What
it.
did Freddie do that caused like this gray hair? Like, do you think that was part of her nightmare? Was like, just like a lot of girls, it's just like, no, don't touch my hair, don't cut my hair, don't color my hair, don't like that kind of thing. Like back then, it's just like, aha, I'm gonna dip it into this gray just for men. Like,
it really doesn't make much sense.
No, it doesn't.
And
just
we
like,
don't see that dream either. So we have no clue what even happened in there.
It's just something that happens all of a sudden. Like
She dreams, and then they're like, that was weird. It's never done that before. Well, see you later.
Yeah, it's like,
sorry, your sleep study's over.
like they're just like, she freaks out. It's like, we got to go home. We're going home. It's like, I'm still billing you for this. Like, what do you want? Like, this is, you got no answers, and like, they don't know what's going on. You just go home.
And we don't report it. We don't tell dad to be like, yeah, something's going on, man. Like,
Yeah.
So is there any major point to this scene? And I'm asking that honestly.
no.
I did like it just to like get us into more of like the dream aspect of it. It's like, yeah, we actually don't know why they even happen.
That is cool.
You can't control you having them or not. You just can't. Like, it's just gonna happen to you. You know.
And you have to do it. Like,
Yeah.
you have to sleep.
And that's actually like one of the creepiest things about the movie is where it's just like, yeah, if you don't sleep, you will die.
Yeah, and if you sleep, you will die.
Exactly. And then so there's nowhere to go. And like fighting off sleep is the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
You know.
It is. And I guess the fact that, you know, the little Richter scale's going crazy, but the screen isn't really reporting anything. I guess that's another thing, I mean, you know, that just kind of adds to the questions of like, or the uncertainty of it. That's really
Wouldn't it be fucking cool? This is gonna happen someday. If like you could actually your brain, the implant in your brain actually records a visual of what you see in your dream,
sick as fuck.
and then you could wake up and watch it.
That'd be sick as fuck.
Like, wouldn't that be
Elon,
unbelievable?
what are you doing?
Oh, let's waste our time on X being a political champion.
Oh, look, rockets.
Fuck
I'm
rockets.
gonna go play with my rocket
I'm
kit.
gonna share memes about politics.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send a car into space.
Yeah. It's still out there. It's still there. I don't know where it's at.
Well, dude, that's if you believe.
Well, if you believe
if
space.
you believe that space is real.
Man,
it's not.
It's true.
Man.
It's true.
I do have a question. She
Come
does.
on.
Mom does tell the backstory now. Finally.
Yeah. Well, first, yeah. Sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no,
Yeah, she
wait.
did- no. Go ahead. No.
Yeah, so she finally tells this backstory, which now makes sense, but it's also weird that none of them know about it because I'm thinking about it, like they're singing that creepy fucking song, right? Freddy's coming for you, grab your crucifix. Like, I'm like, oh man, maybe I just never learned that song as a kid. But no, this particular town made up this song that they all know and sing because of the lore of what happened to Freddy Krueger. So the fact that these kids know nothing about this, they've never heard about it, or they didn't even go, oh, Freddy Krueger, like from the lullaby song that we always sing as kids.
No kidding.
And just none of this. We don't talk about it. None of it links together in any sense at all.
It just, this is the part as well, because you're right. We have the song, which is like it's basically Ring Around the Rosie.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually a terrifying thing. Ring Around the Rosie that these kids sing. You know, like you hear the name Freddy Krueger, but you have no idea about who it is, even though this lore comes from your neighborhood. Or
You would ask
like
that. You're 8. You're like, what? Who's Freddy? Why do we sing about Freddy and grabbing crucifixes?
It would be a ghost story that is told around the campfire.
Totally would.
You know, like little things, or at camp out, whatever. And then you have the completely valid point of Nancy's, but maybe the most valid thing that actually is said in this is, you've known this whole fucking time, and you didn't say anything about it. You just literally gaslit me into like thinking I'm crazy.
Yeah. Well, bars on the window for you.
Yeah.
Impressive work, by the way.
Man, I got this done in fucking hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I'm fucked up right now,
Yeah.
dude. Like, I got another bottle. I got 11 more. It was $20 for a dozen.
She climbed a ladder and none of didn't even put things in weird, like wonky. Like, I mean, she did a good job on that.
Yeah.
She's legit. Like, she's like mason work up there.
She's been
It's
prepping
just
her
like-
whole life for this moment. Where did she even get all the bars?
I don't know.
They don't keep that at your local hardware store.
No, you got to go to the raw iron place.
And those are custom sizes. All those windows are different sizes. You don't just go, give me the bar set. I have 12 windows.
I was just gonna say, it's like, yeah, where's your window bars? Oh, that's aisle 11.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
just
got.
right
Do you have
down
all
there.
the sizes? Oh yeah, we got them all.
What sizes do you have? We'll custom cut, just like the wood we have here.
The 10-inch by 4 foot. That's a tough one. That's the side of the door. We ran out of those last week, but we can cut the rest for you for sure.
Okay. Well, is it going to take long? Because I do have to get back.
Yeah,
Ugh.
ma'am, you smell like vodka.
Yep.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
You want some?
Yes, I do.
Don't let that distract you from the task at hand.
At least they didn't like tell her to act really drunk because she
shit.
doesn't act drunk at all, and that would have just been the worst.
Except later on, it was like locked. That's
Locks.
all I had to do. You need to sleep, fuck bitch.
Yeah.
I killed a man. What have you done?
And by the way,
I kept his glove.
was it? No wonder you. It's like, have you never heard any fucking ghost story in your entire life? If you keep a memento,
If you keep it, yeah.
you've kept that specter around.
Yeah. You don't do that.
Like, what is the matter with you? And you kept it in the furnace of all places, as if you're toying with him, because.
So that furnace is where he was killed. They pushed him into that furnace?
Oh man, that's a tough fit.
Oh, God.
He really can't grab it. He's
No.
afraid of fire.
Like it just makes me. There's so many questions I have.
I don't know if they've done this in the sequels or like any of the lore in the sequels or talked about it or whatever, but a cool prequel would be the before, like when he was alive and all this was happening.
Have
like,
they never done that?
I don't know. Maybe someone out there knows, but that would be really cool of just like a young Freddy Krueger doing this as like just not burnt, obviously alive, and like doing this to these kids.
But it ends with him being killed.
Yeah.
And that'd be awesome. It has to. They have to
Wasn't
tackle that
there
somehow.
I don't know.
A movie. One of the movies I thought started out with him getting chased into the building.
Yeah, just Chase though. Like
Okay.
I'm saying like that's.
But we want all that before that.
Yeah, like a kind of slasher movie, but with like kids being like, you know what I mean.
You know, honestly, that would be a pretty insanely good movie.
And you could make
to
it
be
more
written.
like psychological thriller.
Correct.
Like, instead of just full-blown horror slasher. Like how did he become this way?
Because
mental.
then you have the cops who are after this and hunting this down, but then you have the parents that are becoming unhinged enough
to do
anything to save their kids.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? That's as good as it gets right there. That's awesome.
Well, let's do final scene. So Glenn falls asleep and is killed by Freddy, and Nancy can't save him because she's locked into her house by her drunk mother. Nancy sets up a number of booby traps in the house and brings Freddy out of her dream into the real world. After some scuffles, Freddy seems to take Marge with her to the dream world. He comes back, and Nancy's able to defeat him, or does she? Man, dudes, Glenn's death?
Yeah.
And, wow.
It's now 12 midnight. You're listening to KRGR. Is Krueger.
So that was in a dream world? Was that in the dream world?
I think that was like the outside world reflecting what dream he's having, you know?
KRGR.
Like maybe he can kind of faintly hear the radio in his dream, and so that's what he's hearing.
Do you think anybody's license plate in the entire world is FRDKRGR?
100%.
I'm going to look it up in Iowa while you guys are talking.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is like another iconic scene, and what a way to go out in your debut film being fucking Jack Sparrow now. It's just so weird to see him go out like this. But yeah, it's completely shocking and fucking awesome and brutal.
It's pretty insane, like, but yeah, it's just him just getting pulled into that bed. Like, it's kind of I'm not saying it's as bad as like Teeners.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's up there. So how did they do this? Did they just do like a flip set or something and then dump blood down
It's
the place?
the same set as Teener's death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They just
invert it.
Yeah, they just like had it upside down. In fact, you can see in a shot where it does go down and the mom comes in to see it. It's kind of tilting a little bit.
Okay.
That's because it, like all of the blood was going to one side and the set was tilting because of it, because of the weight.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I think it's done very well. It's very shocking, but it's a good way to kind of cap off this the big deaths. You know what I mean?
I didn't see this one coming.
No, I didn't really either.
I thought he was going to be a remaining hero of the movie.
I thought he would like get pulled in or something, but like he's pulled into the dream world.
Right.
I didn't
Nope, he
expect
just
it. It's like
Nah, he's dead.
Just like, damn, dude.
Not one person in Iowa has decided that they want a customized license plate that says FRD KRGR.
There you go.
I just
Sean.
ordered it for you.
There you go.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
I mean,
60,
I'll
60
take
bucks.
it if I don't need to buy it.
I bought it for you for $60. There's $15 annual validation fee.
Oh, okay, sick.
You
That's
guys
on
okay?
you.
You Patreon? You guys okay with that? $15. You help
AJ.
Sean out.
AJ, can you grab me one?
This is also pretty great too, Sean. How time really doesn't apply here at all. I mean, he dies at midnight.
Yeah.
So you got to assume
Quick.
that by 12:10, that's when the police are there.
Yes.
So maybe 10 minutes later, by 12:20, she has fully Kevin McAllistered the whole house and has a full conversation with her mom. So
I'm
that
not afraid anymore, Freddie.
you hear me? I'm not afraid anymore. Somebody being me, I will make the montage with the din 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 din.
I'll be honest with you, Mike. I came here just to ask for that, and I'm good. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go
You had
drink
to
this
wait till
beer.
scene 5 to
I
ask the
did.
question.
I had to make it all the way through, but I'm so glad we're on the same page. I really appreciate your hard work,
Her
sir.
dad was supposed to come break down the door at 12:30, and yeah, Glenn died at midnight. So just throwing that out there, guys.
Yeah.
Dude, I know, like that's like this happens so fast. Cops have a great response time, apparently.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they were in the neighborhood. Who knows? But you just like, oh, and then she calls, and it's like, Nancy, hi, Daddy. Well, I guess it's just like, oh, and I have a proposition for you. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm going to go catch the killer. And if you're dad, you're like, no, you're fucking not. It's real simple.
Stay right there.
No, you're not going what are you talking about? Like, you literally, your 3 friends are dead. You're basically, like, of all of your friends.
You're next.
You're next.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about here? And then she's like, don't worry. I'm going to set up some booby traps. And then... and I'm going to catch him. And I need you to break down the door at an exactly 20
I don't have
minutes.
time to explain any further. You'll figure it out.
What the fuck are you talking
What
about?
are you talking? And he's just like, oh, okay, I guess. And then but the best part of this, after she's like Kevin McAllistering the place, is she's like in the windows and like just like, hey, cop, come help me out. I need your help. He's in here. He's
Get
like,
my dad.
he's just like, oh man.
Hey, I'm over here, and I'm real
like-
scared now.
I'm real scared now. And then he's just like, man, she sounds kind of concerned. I wonder, I don't want to bug him though. And then it's just like glass breaking. Her punching out glass with her bare hands, basically. Hey, get my dad, you idiot. I wonder if I should get her dad. Oh, man.
He doesn't like when I bother him too much.
God,
though.
he's up there. He's really.
But he did say, he says,
He's-
like, get me if there's something weird going
He
on.
did say.
But God, that family is weird. I
man.
mean, have you seen his ex-wife? That is a weird house, man.
He's under a lot of pressure right now. I wonder if I should tell him his daughter needs help for getting her life saved.
Ooh, there's smoke coming out.
You're
Okay.
right, AJ. It takes like 3 windows for her to
Man.
scream out of.
Yep.
For him to just be like,
3 windows.
I better go get her dad.
I better do something about this. And he goes up there, and like the cop's like, "Where's the coroner?" He's like, "He's in the bath." New guy's in the corner puking his guts out.
He definitely is. That is not a fun scene going on there.
The coroner went in. He's like, "Another day at the job. Oh, the old grunt." Oh,
Oh, I forgot the white stuff to put under my nose. Damn it.
You're not gonna need a stretcher. You're gonna need a mop.
you're gonna need a mop. We got Joe.
Yeah, this guy's weird.
This guy's like weird.
Yeah, you're not gonna need that.
It wasn't supposed to be a joke, man.
I took it as,
was-
I mean,
it
like
was
no one ever said bring a mop.
No, it was a rhetorical joke. Like it's just fucked up.
No, we
that
do
I'm-
need a stretcher, but we're also going to need a mop.
Like, that's the guy rolling in the gurney thing. He's just like, right? Kind of messy up there, huh? right? And then it would have been great. And what would happen in like a Zucker Brothers version of this is later on you'd see a guy with a mop bucket wheeling in, like on the seat in the background, unacknowledged.
Yes, 100%. Man, and then Sean, you probably read about this, but the scene where Freddy is on fire, that blew my mind because I'm watching this, being like, man, that's a fucking crazy stunt. But
there's something about, before you get to that,
go
there's
ahead.
something about like a full body burn on film that just looks so fucking awesome no matter what.
Even though it's like, oh, weird, like that's a weird fire suit that you're wearing. And I can tell.
You can tell it's like a mask that he's wearing and everything. But like in I don't know, just like, especially in horror movies where they do it so well, or like even this is just so shocking that he's on top of the mom while burning. You know,
Yeah.
it's just so good looking on camera. I love it. But sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, he chases Nancy to the top of the stairs, falls back down, then it cuts, then it shows again where it starts back up again and falls again. I'm assuming that's two shots. This was all one take. The most elaborate fire scene ever filmed at the time. The stuntman, Anthony Cicera, was supposed to only run up the stairs, lay down, get extinguished, but he improvised the falling and then the run back up again, and he won Best Stunt of the Year for that scene, as he should. Like,
hell yeah.
Watch it again with that in mind, you're like, that's a long time to be on fire.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
No matter,
and it's terrifying.
No matter how much retardants you have on you or like the suit that you have on, like it's fire. for
It's
God's
fire,
sake.
and it's all over your face.
Yeah. This whole thing of like the going into the bed thing, the dream world thing, like I don't know.
The mom sinking down.
Yeah,
dreaming.
yeah. I don't know.
Kind of creepy, but also this is where it's a little then whose dream do we end up in after all of this? Are we still in a dream? Is he still in the real world? It is very ambiguous, the whole end of this, of where we're at and what's happening.
So her plan is to pull him out of the dream world,
Which would get him out.
because that getting his hat kind of proved that to her, and so I do like that a lot. I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
you can, if you can do that, that's a cool plan.
You got to think like we've talked about like badass female characters. You're talking about somebody going and attacking their nightmare dream demon fire.
Yes.
You got,
Thank you for bringing that up, because this is where I think Heather Langenkamp is fucking awesome. Like her physicality of like her and Freddie rolling around like on and off the bed, and like him like kind of like shaking her by her collar. She's fucking great in these scenes, and like some scenes where we'll get to it, but like especially as I take back every bit of energy I gave to you, that shit is really good. When
Pretty
she
awesome.
starts taking control, she's fucking phenomenal.
Right.
But then he's in the real world at that point. Then when he goes on to the mom and there's that thing you just talked about, is he going back into dream world and like taking mom with her?
Right.
Because then he still comes back out, and that's when she said, I'm taking all the control away from you, and it sort of ends. But then it goes to like, are we in mom's dream?
Right.
At the very end here, where she's like, because everybody's still alive. We are dreaming. Right. Everybody's still alive. Or are we dreaming, or was this whole thing a dream, and now we've gone back to the beginning when everyone was still alive? I don't know.
The idea that like maybe the whole entire thing was like a part of like a Nancy's dream.
Was the mom dreaming this entire thing?
Oh, it could be the mom dreaming the whole thing. Ooh, see, I don't know. And like, it was, it all felt like, okay, we've got some resolve here. But it makes me wonder, because all of her friends are back, and then it's the car hood, or the top, right?
Yep.
Is the giveaway.
Yep.
And then, which is very creepy to me for some odd reason.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's the way it flops onto it. It's like, I don't know.
They said it went faster than it was supposed to, so all of their reactions are genuine. They're like, Jesus, like
checks out. Like
it's very crude. It's like
it is very crude, and it feels very Living Dead, to me, the way that happens. And then the car goes off. It would have to be the mom's nightmare then.
Yeah, and this is where I like the ending of it, because Wes Craven wanted it to just be after she says the whole thing of I take back every bit of energy I gave to you, and he just kind of fizzles out like a TV thing. That's a little weird to me too. Like when he's goes to grab her, that was a little weird to me. What'd you guys think about that?
I don't know. Like that's the thing is, sometimes I always maybe I feel this way about lots of movies like this, but it always seems like there's such a simple idea that can kind of resolve this all.
Yeah.
And you're right. It felt weird. I don't know. It just felt hokey. Or like
feels rushed, but also like the original idea that Wes Craven wanted was it to just be ambiguous like this. He didn't want the pattern of red and green on the car top, and he didn't want mom to be pulled into the.
That was my least favorite part.
Yeah.
Oh,
I figured,
God, are you kidding me?
I figured. I mean, it's
You
truly
loved
bad.
it, Mike? You loved it?
No, I liked how bad it was. It was just like, oh, ow.
Dude, it's just like all that was missing was a whoop.
Yeah. I think her shoe comes off too, or something. Like it's very bad, and like it would have been so much better without it, because it would have been this discussion that we're having is like, are they still in the dream? Is it mom's dream? Is it Nancy? Like whose dream?
Is it the end of Inception? Like where we're just like, we don't know, we have no clue, and you could argue this forever. Whose dream were we
should have
even
been
in?
this, and that's kind of, I think that his original intention, and it's such a shame that it was Bob Shea who was like, we're going to milk this shit out of this if it's successful.
God,
okay, so we're going to need Freddie to come back for a second, third, fourth,
see.
fifth, second, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, whatever. We're going to need him.
Yeah.
Do you think they could have done that? My last question then. Do you think they could have come back and done that, though, without having to add this in?
Totally, all the time. I mean,
Because it's dream stuff.
Yeah.
So it's
you don't
like-
die. Turns out you don't die in Dream World.
Yeah, it's like, it turns out.
That's literally all you need.
The audience isn't going to the second one or like seeing the trailer for the second one and being like, well, I thought Freddie died in the first one.
Wait!
What would ever make you think that?
Pump the brakes. Because, way I remember it, it seems like Freddie got his.
Remember, he fizzled out right into Nancy at the end?
Yeah.
How is he going to fizzle back in? This is crazy. They'll just do anything for money nowadays.
Do anything.
I better buy a ticket.
Well, I better go see
I better
it.
go. I better go so I can get mad at it.
I'm going to write a review on IMDb.
Do you guys have any props on this one at all?
Ooh, here's a prop.
I kind of want just I'm thinking small stuff to keep filling our studio up. I want a bottle of the Stay Awake fast acting medicine.
Yeah,
I think that little
nice.
kind of little subtle thing that somebody might catch later on.
Nice.
I want Johnny Depp's headphones for the studio.
Nice.
I want those.
I want his radio that he had with the tape at the beginning.
Ooh,
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
With that actual tape.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So we can listen together.
Nice.
Any porn parody names ideas for this one? All I could come up with was Thigh Bear on Elm Street. That's all I had. Nothing really rhymes with Elm or Nightmare on Elm Skeet. Something like that. I don't know.
No, those are good.
No, you know what? Those are pretty good, man. You did good.
Thighs Bear. Is that what you said?
Thigh Bear on Elm Street.
I
Yeah.
was going to say Thighs Bear on Elm Skeet
Yeah.
or something like that.
or like My Bear on Elm Street.
Yeah.
It's like gay, and there's bears, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't watch that, but
Oh.
I've heard that I could maybe be one.
Yeah,
so,
sure,
So
dude.
yeah, I heard a bit of a bear. You like that?
That's great.
What are we talking about?
bear.
What
You
is
brought
going
this
on right
up.
now? I'm sorry. All right, we have dissected Nightmare on Elm Street with a modern eye. It is the final movie of spooky season. We got to give it a modern day rating. Sean, what do you think about this modern day, bud?
Yeah, man. I totally wasn't a fan back in the day. This isn't my like franchise. I'm more of a Jason guy. I even like some of the Halloween movies a little bit better than these ones, but I got to give it up for the ingenuity of this movie being like all practical effects and doing these in-camera tricks to please your eye pretty much, or like make you just be like, what the fuck? Like even when he transports into the jail, him going into the bars or whatever, that was practical somehow.
Yeah.
I can't I read how they did it. I'm like, I don't even fucking know what you're talking about. Like I love all that. Wes Craven, this idea is just so fucking banging, man. Like this idea of a dream demon, you can't go to sleep. If you stay awake too long, you're gonna die. Like, you know, that kind of shit. That's just fucking horrifying. It puts you into this trap where you just feel trapped and you can't go anywhere. And Freddy Krueger as a villain is so iconic and so good. And Robert Englund is just literally the most like, and like even a good actor, even outside of this makeup too. Like his movies that he's in, that he's not Freddy, he's fucking incredible in. Unfortunately, this is still just not my kind of cup of tea. I do find a lot of problems with it, and I can't get past him. And I watched it for the first time, like, damn, was that like a 3.5 star movie for me? Like, fuck, this is Nightmare on Elm Street, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, think about the rate, dude. 95 from critics.
And I watch it again. I'm just like, I just can't get past some of it. And so I do love it. I just won't return to it as much as I will a lot of other things. I'm gonna give this a 7.8.
7.8 for Sean. AJ, what about you, brah?
It's tough. Like in all seriousness, I do try to be like as objective as possible when we're doing these movies, and like ones that, like, knowing full well it's not the type of movie that I'm into, right? Totally get that. I still try to at least keep an open mind, try to respect what's being done. These are the ones that it's really, really hard for me to do, though, because it gets caught with a lot of almost more hokiness than something like when we watched Halloween.
Halloween, yeah.
You know? So it's just parts of it. They just seem hokey. They seem over the top. They seem forced. This writing doesn't come through the right way. It's not portrayed the right way by the actors. They have a tough time with it. They, don't have the ability to dictate what their dialogue is going to be in some of these scenarios, So it's just hard because these movies for me, they seem like they're almost twice as long as what they actually are. Like, this is an 1.5-hour movie, and it just seems like I feel like I'm at like 2.5 hours by the time I'm done with this. And so I have a very tough time with it. Like, and I don't want to like rate this low because I don't like scary movies. But I have to be realistic in the sense of, like, I truly don't understand what the 95% is, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what, like, 93, 95, I don't understand what it is. Other than the fact that I'm sure there was some just amazing ingenuity that happened for what it did
in the
at
moment,
that time,
yes.
Right? And that's the hill we're gonna die on this movie or something. And if that's the case, then fine. But for me, I know what my part is on making sure that we have an accurate rating. And I think I'm going to give this, oh man, I'm going to give this I'm going to do this same thing.
It's okay.
3.75.
3.75. It's
Guys.
okay. Because I'm right in the middle of you guys. I absolutely loved the death scenes and like the practicality of the effects. Like, whoa. I mean, blew me away. I loved Englund's performance. I liked the story, the unique idea of it. But what I didn't like was the majority of the acting. I am the guy that weirdly has some empathy for like Jason and Michael. Like I like looking at horror stories in the way of like, well, man, but they treated that guy like shit, and so like now he's coming for you, you know. And like it's a weird way, but Freddy. Like, I hate the backstory of Freddy. Like, he's a piece of shit. And he's even more of a piece of shit now that he's like this demon killer. I don't like when they talk. Don't tell them jokes. Don't have fun. Be quiet. Be silent. Be creepy. I really don't even like the theme music of this. Like, it got old really quick to me, that little theme that it plays. For me, I'm going 5.7. It's better than Event Horizon was last week for me.
So I was trying to figure out.
But not as much as the rest of the things we've done. This is tied with Varsity Blues for me. It's the Varsity Blues of horror, where it's like, yeah, it's pretty good, but not the best. I don't know if I'll watch it again. But pretty good.
I totally get you. It probably should be, because I was trying to think of it, and I was like, Event Horizon, what did I feel like? I was like, it's probably better than Event Horizon, but in the end, I'm going to return to it just as much.
But this is why it's important that we have our executive producers here. We've got Bud Larsen. He says, I own A Nightmare of Elm Street on Vudu. I like to watch this every year around Halloween. Hearing the iconic theme at the beginning of the movie gives me chills every time. The first movie in the franchise is always my favorite, especially this one. Why are kids in these movies so fucking stupid? Start a fire on purpose in the basement, then run up 2 flights of stairs. Or wake up and walk outside because you hear something. It happens multiple times. Freddy runs so weirdly, like when he was on his first starting the chase with Tina. One of my favorite scenes is when Freddy pulls Glenn into his bed and the blood spews onto the ceiling. The longer the series went on, the more I rooted for Freddy. To this day, I can still say 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock the door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, gonna stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again. The theme of this franchise is so iconic. The best one I could find online was A Wet Dream on Elm Street. A Wet Dream. That's a good one, dude. A Wet Dream on Elm Street. My movie prop is the blue phone when Nancy answers the phone and Freddy's tongue licks her face.
Nice.
Punchable face, Nancy's dad, Don Thompson.
Okay.
Really?
Listen, and this is why it is so important and why we love the show. Modern day rating, 9.8.
There you go.
Wow.
And that is what I love because it always evens itself out.
Good
It
job,
always
bud.
figures out
Yeah.
where it needs to be. And this feels good. This is a 6.76 for us on a modern day rating, which if we're going
It's
to look
got to
at
be at least above a 5. I'm happy about that.
it does. It needs to be there. 6.76 is going to find it in 125th spot, tied with Flight of the Navigator. Not as good as Heavyweights Cool Runnings, but better than Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Air Force One, and The Evil Dead is how we have this.
Damn.
That's how we have it.
There you go, Wes. You won the Raimi and Wes for.
Thanks, bud. We appreciate you for
one-
evening this out.
We'll solve that stuff later.
one more thing about Robert Englund's performance. If you notice, he's like kind of slunched with his glove like this. His shoulders kind of down. He wanted that to be like kind of like a gunslinger kind of thing. Like the
Ooh.
glove had weight. I was like, that's a really cool touch because that awkward like positioning of
It
his
is
body
kinda
is
weird.
really cool.
Wife share on Elm Street. Brian's got a porn prop. There's actually some pretty good ones there. Well, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for being here. Spooky season is nearly over, but next week we move on to a scary movie in its own right, Terminator 1.
Yeah, that's basically a horror movie.
Let's go, baby.
Basically,
slasher movie.
Followed by executive producer Starling's pick, The Player. Also, if you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
That was fun.
That was a fun one.
This time last
Kind
year
of a
was Honey,
nightmare
I
in
Shrunk-
Well,
itself.
it's like it was like November 1st.
Okay,
You know,
okay,
so it's
good.
just sort of like it's how it falls sometimes.
Like I know
so.
we didn't fuck up Halloween last year.
No. We did Halloween
Yeah.
as our last episode. So, yeah, that's where we're at.
I guess that's where we're at, guys. Thank God it's over. Well, almost there. We got the holiday season coming up. I'm super stoked for it. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Check us out on the YouTube and hang out with us there in person in the studio. Check us out on YouTube. Find us on social media too. It's probably how you found us. Just Confused Breakfast anywhere on social media. By all means, leave us a review on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review, 5 stars if you can. Leave us a comment, write something down, tell us how you feel.
Hey, go to confusedbreakfast.com and see the merch that we have. AJ, could you tell us any more about some merch that we might be having soon?
Some of it's a bit of a secret,
Some
but
of
we
it's a
are
bit
going to be having.
We've
some-
talked about it for 4 years.
Whenever I say that's going to be updating soon, I mean it this time.
he
Yeah.
finally means that, oh my God. Can we just at least share that we're going to have a Muff shirt?
We will be having a Muff shirt.
The people have spoken. What does that stand for? Mothers
Undermining
fun films. Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So that will be coming with a motto on the back. We're going to have some of our classics returning. We're also going to have actually some exclusive hats and an exclusive pre-order that's coming up for the holiday season, guys. So
Look out for that
check it
stuff.
out.
We will definitely let you know. You could also go to confusedbreakfast.com to see the ratings of the movies that we have covered. You can see AJ's ratings. You can see my ratings. You can see Mike's ratings and the show's ratings overall. Goodbye. I love you. Happy Halloween.
We are produced by Upload Media Group in Cedar Rapids. We got Brian on the controls, uploadmediagroup.com. And please learn more about our network, Cloud 10, at cloud10.fm. That's it for us. Goodbye.
Goodbye. This is God.
Well, bye.
Well, bye.